What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. Today I want to talk about multicultural relationships and LGBTQ relationships and those relationships as far as they're concerned with the African or Black community. First, let me tell you, I believe, me personally, my beliefs is, I believe a man and a woman is the natural order of a family structure. I support marriage between a man and a woman, right? I believe that black men and black women are the optimal partners for each other. I am for black love. I prefer black people to be with other black people, just like most groups of people prefer that they prefer their own kind of people, right? That's my position. But I also believe in freedom, in what freedom means. I don't believe in freedom as long as that freedom is the way I want that freedom to be. I don't mean freedom as in, as long as you do what I say, how I say it, the way I do it, then it's okay. I don't mean freedom, right? And if you don't do what makes me happy, then you shouldn't deserve freedom. I don't believe in that. I believe if you want to be free, then everybody else should have the right to be free to do what they want, whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not. That's the whole point. Because right now, people who don't like the way other people live, right, want those other people to live the way they want them to live. That is not freedom. The same way we African Americans complain about how there's a group of people that will not allow us to be free to do and express ourselves the way we want to live culturally the way we want to, right? To thrive economically the way we want to, because they want us to conform to them, because they believe that the way they live is the default and the only way to live on this planet, right? The same way we complain about that, we have to also take in consideration that there are other people who want to live a different way for whatever reason, whether biologically they feel like this is what they do, whether they just choose to do it through their own rational mind, right? So, because I believe in true freedom, I believe everybody has the right to do whatever they want, right? Despite what I prefer as a Pan-African, right? Despite what I prefer. I believe every individual have the right to do what they want to do with their life. You see, they are the ones who here on this earth experiencing this life for themselves. And they should not be hindered by another person having their own experience trying to make you do what they want to do. No. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Straight up. That's my belief. So despite the way I think and what I believe, I don't want to impose my life restrictions on other people, right? I don't want to do that. And I expect them not to impose the way they want to live onto me, right? Also, as far as the LGBTQ community, I don't hate LGBT people. I'm not anti-LGBT people. I don't promote LGBT lifestyles, but I understand that there are people who live that lifestyle in the real world. So I don't waste my energy complaining about things that I cannot control. There are always going to be gay and lesbian people on this planet. Almost all of us black people got gay and lesbian people in our family. Every single country on this planet has gay and lesbian people. Every single country in this planet has always had gay and lesbian people. How those gay and lesbian people express themselves, now that is up for debate. That is up for interpretation. That right there is up for rigorous debate within the culture. How they express themselves, right? If they're imposing their views on others, right? I'm not for the LGBT community imposing their views onto people. Let me say it one more time. I am not for the LGBT people imposing their views on other people. But I am for LGBT people living their best life the way they see fit. I don't want to impose my views onto them. Let them live their life. I know how to mind my own fucking business because I'm not worried about what somebody does in the privacy of their room. That is not something that I think about every day. And that is not something that I use to make any political decisions, ever. Because no matter what, there are always going to be gay and lesbian people in the real world. If you don't like gay and lesbian people, fine, that is your opinion, that is your prerogative. But you don't have to hate LGBTQ community. And get this straight, the LGBT community includes black people from America, African people from Africa, Asian people from Asia, white people from fucking Europe, Latinos from South America. It includes every demographic, race, ethnic group on the planet. And they all have their own gay and lesbians who express themselves and live their lives the way they do within their own countries. That's never going to change. So why am I going to focus on that? Just mind your own business and live your own life. That's what I believe as a Pan-African. Because the LGBT community includes every race. So there's no particular race that owns it, even though the Greeks was really into that shit. Let's keep it real. But we all admit the Greeks was a multicultural group of people. So we can't have it both ways. We have to live in the real world. All right? In the real world, right? So let's get with mixed race. 80% of African people marry African people. Therefore, there is no problem with interracial dating. And anybody who has a problem with interracial dating has a problem all by their goddamn self. What does it matter if there's a few black people that find love with white people? How are they all of a sudden no longer a part of the black community? How are they all of a sudden losing their black card? I'm glad the people who think they can sit there and judge somebody for falling in love or partnering with a person of another race, I'm glad that the person that has a problem with that is not in charge of anything. Especially those who don't even have partners themselves. There are people out here who are lonely. 60% of men don't even have a woman. Haven't even experienced an intimate encounter with a woman. And there are more women than men. So that means there's probably more women that don't have relationships with men. So they're supposed to be lonely. They're supposed to suffer through life, never experience love, never experience family, so they can stay on code and not go against their group. That's what they're supposed to do. So if their work environment, right? If their working environment or their professional environment means that they're only around a certain group of people for a great chunk of their professional life, and the only eligible males or females just happen to be of another race, which happens in a multicultural country like America, and a multicultural country like the United Kingdom, and a multicultural country like France and various other places that we live together with other people. If they happen to only have choices, and sometimes it works out that way and they just get together, it's what it is. If you think that humans are not going to mix, then you are living under the biggest rock on the planet. There is nothing wrong with mixing with other people. As a matter of fact, I got a large arc on the way I think about it. Let me explain to you for those who care how I think about it. I've never been a Pan-African that says a black person is no longer worth anything in the black community just because their significant other is another race. Never. Why? Because that's not a factor. Right? Now, some people say, well, you didn't have enough, you didn't appreciate your own culture to invest in the family. Well, you know what? Some people didn't have the opportunity. Some people in America some black people don't even live around other black people. Some black people in America, their whole towns is all white. There's like 5 other black people and all of them dudes, all of them women, all of them already taken. So you have no choice. You have no choice. Some people work in professions that mostly black people don't venture into. Therefore, their whole professional and social life is with other groups of people. You can't help who you love. You cannot help who you love. And no person should restrict themselves. No person should hold back on the opportunity to experience love simply because of the color of their skin. Nobody. And that's coming from a Pan-African who loves and cherishes black women. I prefer black women. I prefer all black men to be with black women. I prefer all black women to be with black men. But guess what? In the real world, on this planet, Earth, the only one we got, where we all live together, people are going to mix like they've been mixing for millions of years. Millions. So how you new age Negroes are going to all of a sudden get on a goddamn pedestal and think you can judge people for just so happening to be in love and having families with other people? I'm not with that. All right, but let me tell you my long arc. You see, we black. We African. We have the strongest genes, period. We are the default. We are the originators. It doesn't matter how much mixing we do because it's always going to go back to black. In about 50 years, 1 in 5 persons is going to be black. How do you think that's going to happen? How do you think something like that occurs? Huh? How do you think the process of 1 in 5 people on this planet being black? And what do you think is going to happen in another 50 years after 1 in 5 people are black? Huh? It's going to be 1 in 3 people is black. Then 1 in 2 people is in black. And then everybody's going to be black. All we got to do is keep being black. All we got to do is keep marrying each other at 80% and let that 20% that don't got the opportunity to marry someone of their own race for whatever various of reasons, let them go do what they do. Because all they doing is fighting the biological war of survival. Huh? You go make those quadrones. Go ahead and make them daggone mixed mulattoes. Go ahead and make them. Because odds are, they themselves, those quadrones, those half and halves, those mixed mulattoes, guess what they're going to have to do at some point? Because they're only going to have a few choices. Because 1 in 5 of their choices is going to be black. Then 1 in 3 of their choices is going to be black. Then 1 in 2 of their choices is going to be black. Then guess what? If at some point their only choice is to be black. And if you mix up all the races in this country, you mix up all the races on the planet, guess what you get? What do you get? You get black. They come from us. They are pieces of us. We keep saying we're mothers and fathers of civilization. They are pieces of us. All we doing is going to collect the pieces and putting it back together. That's how I see it. So I got no problem with a black person falling in love with a white person. Fall in love with a Latino. Fall in love with a so what? In the long scheme of things, that's good for us. In the long scheme of things, that's how I look at it. Because you can't stop people from mixing. The world is getting smaller and smaller. People are able to travel all around the world. And guess what? Soon enough, we'll be able to get to each other faster than we think now. There used to be a point in time where it would take somebody years to get from Europe to Asia. Traveling. When you used to say goodbye to somebody, that was like for real goodbye. That might have been forever. When your family left, when your children left the house, you might have never seen them. That's been the majority of human existence. Now, right? Then we invented boats and stuff. All of a sudden, you can go from Europe to Africa in a couple months. And then we invented trains. And then we invented cars and planes. Now we can get to Africa in 14 hours from America. You can get to Africa from Europe in 6 hours and on a plane. And as soon as this new technology, more technology that's being developed right now that I pay attention to, but I'm not going to get into that in the video, we'll be able to travel to any place on the planet in 45 minutes. 45 minutes. I'll be able to go from America to Shanghai in 45 minutes. That's going to happen, and more than likely within my lifetime while I'm still alive. Then what you think is going to happen? Chinese people are going extinct, so they need 100,000 Africans. What do you think is going to happen to China? What do you think China going to look like? Huh? What do you think China's going to look like in about 200 years? Japan. They're trying to get Africans to go there. What do you think Japan's going to look like in about 200 years? Europe. Shit, we already taken over Europe. What you think Europe going to look like in about 200 years? America. Shit. What you think America going to look like in about 200 years? It's going to be us. You understand? We are absorbing everybody. And I'm for that. Let's go ahead and absorb everybody over here. Let's take that 20% that can't find black love. Let them go and absorb everybody. Let's make the whole world browner and browner and browner. Let's start upgrading everybody and give them that melanin, so maybe that melanin will get to that brain so they can stop being the way they are and they can start coming around to the way we are. You know, as far as how we like to live life, peace, love, happiness, and cocoa butter and all that stuff. You know what I mean? How about we do that? So I have no problem with people who mix. And I can't tell somebody they're not pro-black just because they have a white or Spanish or Asian husband or wife. I can't tell them that. And I also don't expect everybody to be pro-black or pan-African to a certain extent. They may love and value their culture, but that might not be in the cards for them. They may be positive towards their people, but they're not. Their mission is not to be pro-black or pan-African. That's not what they do on their off time. Okay? So all I'm saying is, anybody wasting their time that got LGBT people rent-free, you talking about 0.1% of the population of the planet. Huh? You worried about 0.1% of the population of the planet and what the hell they doing behind closed doors. That's what you worried about. And don't give me this pedophile stuff, because most pedophiles are straight, heterosexual, conservative, Christian, Catholic, and Muslims. So don't give me that mess. So don't give me morality when the most immoral people are heterosexual religious people. And heterosexual non-religious people are the most immoral and dangerous and violent people on the planet. And that's a fact that you cannot dispute. So yeah, I'm a Pan-African, I'm pro-black everything. I believe that African countries should be able to dictate what they want for their people and shouldn't be dictated what they should do by Western nations. Even if that Western nation is the country that I reside in, that is the nationality I am, even if the president of the country happens to be a black woman who happens to be also a South Asian, who also is tolerant to LGBTQ stuff. I'm fine with that, because I have all the confidence that my other political heads of state will make sure that they're going to do what's best for their countries, and they're not going to allow a Western president, even if they are black, to dictate what they're going to do. So whatever African countries are for when it comes to how they want to run shit, I'm 100% for that, and I pick them over this country. Period. But I'm not going to waste any of my energy. I'm not dying on any hill that doesn't have any benefit at all. There's no victory there. Complaining about LGBT people and complaining about people who mix is like complaining that the sun come out every day. It's like complaining that there's clouds in the sky. What you gonna do about it? What exactly do you want to do with LGBT people and people who mix race? What do you want to do? Huh? Since all y'all want to complain, because it's such a bad, horrible thing, it's something that really grinds your gears. What is your solution? Since you complaining, what's your solution? Since you complaining, what's your solutions? What do you want to do with these human beings? What do you want to lock them up? You want to put them in gas chambers? You want to line them up? You want to dig a big hole and go brrr, and you want to push them in there and dig and cover it up? Is that what you want to do? You want to put them on a stake? You want to burn them? Huh? You want to put them on a cross and you want to crucify them? What do you want to do? Because if you're not going to do anything, why are you complaining? If you don't have no solutions, why are you worried about the problem? And why do you consider it a problem? It's not your problem unless there's something you want to tell us. Because we know that's the thing too. We know that's the thing. And a lot of y'all got something y'all want to say, but y'all want to say it. Either come out of the closet or stay in the closet and shut up, mind your own business. That's what I believe. Because there is so much more important shit we can be talking about. There is so much more important stuff that black people should be talking about other than the 0.1% of the global population and what they do behind closed doors with the people that they love. Anyway, that's my position. All right? I hope I made myself clear. So, y'all guys, tell me what y'all think in the comment section. This is Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.